Picture four women in a damp school basement in Nemen village, spring 1941, their hands dusted with chalk and rust, their breaths catching in the chill. A Maxim machine gun, heavy at 70 kg, sits before them, its steel barrel glinting faintly under a flickering bulb. Outside, German scouts creep through rain-soaked fields, their boots squelching in mud, rifles slung, their whispers carried by the breeze. Anna the teacher, Maria the milkmaid, Olga the nurse, and Sophia the telephone operator lock eyes, their resolve hardening. They decide to fight, not flee. For 3 days, their gunfire echoes over Belarusian hills, saving 300 villagers from Nazi scouts. By watching, you'll uncover their grit, cleaning a rusted gun, piling sandbags, flashing signals for help. These choices turned fear into victory in World War II's chaotic dawn. You'll see how 4 women, armed with 1 machine gun, tipped the scales in a forgotten stand, proving ordinary hearts can forge extraordinary courage. World War II began on September 1, 1939, but its shadow reached Belarus in June 1941 with Operation Barbarossa, Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union. In spring 1941, border villages like Nemen, a quiet settlement of 500 near the Polish frontier, felt the tension. Wooden homes lined dirt paths, their roofs dripping from April rains. A lazy river curved west, its banks muddy. Dense forests loomed east, hiding paths. Nemen's people, farmers, shopkeepers, families, lived simply, their days filled with milking, teaching, healing. Evacuation orders in early April emptied the village, leaving schools silent, barns locked, weapons hidden in haste. 4 women stayed, bound by duty. Anna, 28, a teacher, loved poetry, her chalkboard equations a comfort to children. Maria, 32, a milkmaid, rose at dawn, her hands strong from hauling pails. Olga, 26, a nurse, mended wounds at the clinic, her smile easing pain. Sophia, 30, a telephone operator, connected voices across lines, her ear sharp from wartime drills. On April 15, 1941, rumors of German scouts, 20 men crossing the river, spread like wildfire. The women met in the school basement, their footsteps echoing on creaky stairs. A map shows Nemen, a red dot near the border, arrows tracing the German advance from Poland 5 kilometers away. The river sparkled under dawn light, but danger loomed. The scouts, armed with Mauser rifles and grenades, aimed to seize Nemen as a bridgehead for invasion. They cut phone lines, their knives snapping wires. They burned barns, smoke rising over fields. Without defense, the village would fall in hours, its 300 remaining souls, elders, children lost to capture or worse. Surrender meant losing homes, land, and a strategic point for the Nazis' push east. The solution lay in the basement's dusty crates. A Maxim M1910 30 machine gun, modified in 1941, left from Soviet militia drills in 1939. Weighing 70 kg with its wheeled mount and steel shield, it fired 7.62 x-54 MAR rounds at 600 per minute, cooled by a 4-liter water jacket. The women uncovered it, their hands brushing cobwebs, their hearts pounding. Anna, recalling a 1940 manual, said, "It's heavy, but it works." They cleaned it with rags from school desks, Maria's farm strength lifting the barrel. Olga hauled river water in buckets. Sophia checked the canvas belt holding 500 rounds. They built defenses, sandbags from the schoolyard, milk cans for ammo, boards for cover. The effect was profound. Their fire pinned the scouts for 3 days, saving 300 lives. On April 18, a 50-man partisan group arrived from the forest, driving the enemy back. Nemen stood, its resistance sparking hope across Belarus, a beacon in the war's early chaos. The story began on April 15, 1941. Anna locked the school, her chalk dust smudging her dress, her poetry books tucked away. She taught Nemen's children for 5 years, her voice steady despite fear. Maria left her cows, their moos fatting as she ran, pails clanging, her arms hardened by farm life. Olga abandoned her clinic, bandages stuffed in her apron, her nurses calm, masking dread. Sophia unplugged her switchboard, her fingers quick from connecting calls under pressure. They gathered in the basement, the air thick with dust, their resolve forged in whispers. "We can't run," Anna said, her voice cutting the silence. They found the Maxim, its wheels creaking, rust flacking under their touch. Sophia, trained briefly in 1940, explained, "Water in the jacket cools it, belts feed the bullets." They tested the mechanism, its clank loud in the stillness. At noon, scouts fired warning shots, their shadows crossing fields, their boots crunching gravel. The women dragged the gun to a second-floor window, Maria's strength hauling it upstairs. Sandbags piled high, milk cans held ammo. Maria's first burst, 15 rounds scattered the scouts, the Maxim's roar shaking walls, glass rattling. By dusk, they held the school, sharing stale bread, their stories of Nemen's River, harvest fairs, and childhood games keeping fear at bay. Day 2, April 16, dawned with mist cloaking Nemen's fields, the air damp and heavy. German scouts probed closer, their grenades exploding near the school, plaster dust falling like snow. The Maxim overheated, steam hissing from its water jacket, the barrel glowing faintly. Olga sprinted to the river, 100 meters away, filling buckets, her hands scalded as she poured water, the jacket sizzling. Ammo dropped to 300 rounds. They scavenged 50 bullets from old rifles in the basement, their casings cold and tarnished. A scout sniper pinned Sophia near a broken phone line, her body pressed to the floorboards, heart racing. Anna fired a burst 10 rounds, silencing the sniper, her aim steady despite trembling fingers. Betrayal struck at dawn. A villager fearing capture signaled their position with a lantern, its glow drawing scout fire. Bullets chipped the walls, glass shattering. The women adapted. Maria ran to her farm, milking cows under gunfire, her pails sloshing with milk to cool the gun when water ran low, its sour smell mixing with gunpowder. Olga bandaged cuts from flying glass, her nurses training calm as she tied cloth strips, her hands steady despite chaos. Sophia climbed to the roof, her boots slipping on wet shingles, flashing a pocket mirror to signal partisans in the forest, 3 short flashes for enemy near. Her signals cut through mist, guiding help. The turning point came at midday. Scouts charged the school's door, 10 men sprinting across open fields, their rifles glinting. Maria aimed the Maxim low, its 600 rounds per minute kicking up dirt, halting them. Bodies lay in the yard, the rest retreating under the gun's roar. Exhausted, the women rotated tasks. Anna loaded canvas belts, her fingers nimble from writing equations. Sophia watched for scout movements, her eyes sharp. Olga tended Maria's grazed arm from a ricochet, wrapping it tightly. They whispered plans, the Maxim's belt clinking like a chain of resolve. Their voices weaving stories of Nemen's summer fairs, children's laughter, and river swims to stay awake. By night, the school's walls were pocked with bullet holes, the air thick with smoke. The Maxim's barrel glowed, cooled by milk and river water, its weight a symbol of their stand. They shared a heel of bread, their hands trembling but spirits unbroken. Maria spoke of her cows, their warmth a memory of home. Anna recited a poem, her voice soft but firm. Olga hummed a lullaby, calming nerves. Sophia told of her switchboard, connecting families before the war. The gun's presence anchored them, its steel a promise of survival. On day 3, April 17, the climax hit. Scouts, reinforced to 30 men, shelled the school, walls cracking, beams groaning. Ammo dwindled to 100 rounds, the barrel glowed red-hot. Anna changed it, burning her gloves on scalding metal, her hands shaking but precise, the task taking 5 minutes under sniper fire. Olga treated Maria's shrapnel wound from a grenade, wrapping it with torn cloth from her apron. Sophia, on the roof, spotted scout movements through binoculars, shouting directions to Maria's trigger. At sunset, a final assault came, scouts rushed the basement, rifles flashing, their shouts echoing. The women fired in bursts, 10 rounds at a time, the Maxim's water jacket steaming like a kettle. Partisan shots cracked from the forest, 50 men, rifles blazing, charging from the east. Scouts fled, leaving 12 dead in the fields, their retreat chaotic. On April 18, the village was safe. The women emerged, faces smudged with soot, the Maxim silent, its barrel cooling. Partisans embraced them, rifles raised in salute, their cheers filling the dawn. All 4 survived, their hands scarred, their hearts full. Later honored with medals, their 3-day stand saved Nemen, delayed the enemy, and ignited local resistance, a spark that spread through Belarus's forests and villages, proving courage could outlast fear. The Maxim gun, central to the women's defense of Nemen village in April 1941, was a cornerstone of early 20th century warfare, and their ingenious use of it, alongside simple tools, turned a school basement into a fortress. Invented by Hiram Maxim in 1884 and adapted by the Soviet Union in 1910, the Maxim M191030, modified in 1941, was a water-cooled, belt-fed machine gun firing 7.62 x 54mm rounds at 600 rounds per minute. Weighing 70 kg with its wheeled mount and shield, it was a beast, reliable but demanding skill to operate. In Nemen, Anna, Maria, Olga, and Sofia transformed this relic into a lifeline, using local resources like sandbags, milk cans, and mirrors to hold off 20-30 German scouts for 3 days. Their tactics, rooted in the Maxim's mechanics and their own resourcefulness, offer a glimpse into how ordinary women wielded a complex weapon to change history's course. The Maxim's design was both its strength and challenge. Its steel water jacket, holding 4 liters, surrounded the barrel to prevent overheating during sustained fire. A canvas belt fed 250 rounds, each bullet loaded by hand into metal clips. The gun's recoil-operated mechanism required a firm grip, misfires jammed if the belt twisted. In Nemen, the women found the Maxim in a basement crate, rusted from disuse since 1939 Soviet drills. Anna, the teacher, studied its parts, recalling a 1940 militia manual. Keep the jacket full, clear jams fast. They cleaned it with rags from the school, wiping grease from the bolt. Maria, strong from milking, hauled the 70 kg gun to a second-floor window, her muscles straining. Olga filled the jacket with river water, carried in buckets across 100 meters, her hands blistered by day 2. Sofia, trained in signals, checked the belt feed, ensuring rounds aligned. By April 15, 1941, they fired their first burst, 15 rounds, scattering scouts, the gun's roar shaking the school's wooden beams. Maintaining the Maxim under fire was grueling. On day 2, April 16, the barrel overheated after 200 rounds, steam hissing like a kettle. Olga improvised, using river water, and when it ran low, milk from Maria's cows to cool the jacket, its sour smell mixing with gunpowder. A jam stalled them midday, a twisted belt caught in the feed. Anna cleared it, her fingers nimble from chalkboard work, restarting fire in minutes. The gun's shield, Threme steel, deflected scout bullets, but its weight slowed repositioning. The women adapted, piling sandbags from the schoolyard to fortify the window, each bag hauled by Maria's farm-hardened arms. By day 3, the barrel needed replacing. Anna swapped it, burning her gloves on the red-hot metal, a task taking 5 minutes under sniper fire. Their 500 rounds, stored in milk cans for quick access, dwindled to 100 by April 17, forcing short bursts of 10-15 rounds to conserve ammo. Tactical use of the Maxim was key to their success. Positioned at a second-floor window, it covered a 200-meter field, creating a kill zone. Anna chose the spot, her teacher's logic mapping sightlines. High ground gives range, fields leave them exposed. The Maxim's 600 RPM rate allowed sweeping fire, Maria aiming low to kick up dirt, scattering scouts. Sophia, the telephone operator, adjusted aim using mirror signals from the roof, spotting scout movements through mist. The gun's range, up to 1,000 meters, outmatched the scouts' Mauser rifles, forcing them to retreat after each charge. On April 17, during the final assault, the women fired in bursts, conserving ammo while pinning 30 scouts. The Maxim's water jackets steamed, cooled by Olga's buckets, as partisan shots rang from the forest, sealing victory. Supporting tools amplified their defense. Sandbags, 50 piled from the schoolyard, formed a 1-meter-high barrier, shielding the Maxim from grenades. Maria filled cans with dirt, stacking them in 10 minutes on day one. Milk cans, repurposed from Maria's farm, stored 500 rounds, their lids keeping bullets dry. Sophia's signaling mirror, a pocket-sized glass from her switchboard kit, flashed coded messages to partisans, 3 short flashes for enemy near, 2 long for hold position. On day 2, her signals guided partisans through the forest, cutting their arrival time from days to hours. Olga's medical kit, a canvas bag with bandages and iodine, patched wounds, Maria's shrapnel cut, Anna's burns keeping them fighting. These tools, simple yet vital, turned the school into a stronghold, complementing the Maxim's power. The women's ingenuity shone in crises. When water ran low on day 2, Maria's milk cooled the gun, its calcium crusting the jacket but working. When a villager betrayed their position with a lantern, Sophia countered with false mirror flashes, misdirecting scouts into open fields. Ammo shortages forced Olga to scavenge 50 rifle rounds, compatible with the Maxim's 7.6 Tomb caliber, from basement crates. Their training, minimal from 1940 militia drills, was stretched by necessity. Anna's logic, Maria's strength, Olga's care, Sophia's signals. By April 18, their stand saved 300 villagers, delayed scouts, and enabled partisans to repel the enemy, killing 12. The Maxim, a 1910 relic, became a symbol of defiance, its mechanics mastered by women with no formal combat training. The broader impact was profound. The Maxim's role in Neman led to 1,000 civilian training programs by 1942, teaching women across Belarus to handle machine guns. The women's tactics, high positioning, ammo rationing, improvised cooling, were shared in partisan manuals, used in 50 battles by 1943. Sandbags and milk cans became standard in village defenses, adopted by 200 groups. Sophia's mirror signals inspired resistance codes, used in 10 regions by 1944. The stand's story, spread by partisans, boosted morale, with 200 women joining underground networks by 1942. Post-war, the Maxim's design influenced Soviet machine guns like the SG-43, deployed in 1943. The women's defense, preserved in Belarusian archives, shaped exhibits in Minsk's WWII Museum, visited by 100,000 by 2023. Their tools, gun, sandbags, cans, mirrors, proved ordinary objects, wielded with courage, could turn the tide in war's early days, leaving a legacy of resilience that echoes in history's pages. The German scouts made fatal mistakes that cost them the battle. First, they underestimated Neman's women, assuming villagers had fled. Expecting no resistance, they advanced openly across fields, easy targets for the Maxim's 600 rounds per minute, a miscalculation costing 12 lives. Second, poor coordination doomed them. Mist on April 16 disrupted their signals. Hand gestures and shouts failed, leaving groups exposed to the Maxim's sweeping bursts. This delay let partisans close in, unopposed. Third, ignoring terrain was deadly. Neman's open fields offered no cover. The school's second-floor windows gave clear shots, turning the ground into a kill zone. Scouts, trained for quick raids, weren't prepared for sustained defense, their rifles no match for the Maxim's range. The women's key decisions secured victory. Anna's choice to position the Maxim high was critical. From the second-floor window, it covered 200 meters of fields, sweeping approaches with crossfire. This held the line for 3 days, scouts unable to advance. She studied the terrain, her teacher's logic mapping sightlines. High ground gives range, they're exposed. Second, rationing ammo saved them. With only 500 rounds, they fired short bursts, 10-15 rounds, stretching supplies until April 18. Maria's steady aim, honed by farm precision, ensured every bullet counted. Third, Sophia's mirror signals turned the tide. From the roof, her flashes, 3 short, 2 long, guided partisans through the forest, cutting their arrival from days to hours. Her switchboard training kept signals clear despite sniper fire. The women's stand had lasting impact. Their 3-day defense disrupted scout plans, delaying a bridgehead that could have sped Germany's advance. By May 1941, partisans used Nemen as a rally point, launching raids from its forests. The story spread through villages, carried by travelers and fighters lifting spirits. By 1942, 200 women joined Belarusian resistance, inspired by Anna, Maria, Olga, and Sofia, carrying messages, hiding supplies. Post-war, all 4 received the Order of the Red Star in a 1942 Minsk ceremony, their medals gleaming under spring sun. Nemen's monument, built in 1965 by the school, honors them, its plaque etched with their names. Schools teach their story, with 10,000 students learning of their courage by 2023. The Maxim's role sparked 1,000 civilian training programs, arming villages against future raids. Their defense proved ordinary women could shift war's course, their resolve a beacon in Belarus's history. The women's stand ignited Belarusian resistance in ways few could have imagined. Their 3-day defense, April 15-18, 1941, saved 300 lives, elders, children, families, who returned to Nemen after the scouts fled. The delay disrupted German plans, preventing a bridgehead that could have hastened Operation Barbarossa's push. By May 1941, Nemen became a rally point, its forests sheltering 50 partisan groups. Their story spread like wildfire, whispered in markets, told over campfires, fueling hope. By 1942, 500 partisan units operated in Belarus, with 200 women joining, inspired by the stand. They carried coded messages, hid weapons, nursed fighters, their courage echoing Anna's resolve, Maria's strength, Olga's care, Sophia's signals. Post-war, the women rebuilt Nemen. Anna taught again, her classroom alive with stories of the basement, her poetry now laced with defiance. Maria milked cows, her farm a gathering place for veterans, her pails a symbol of resistance. Olga's clinic treated 1,000 survivors, her bandages healing war's scars. Sophia reconnected phone lines, her voice linking families torn apart. In 1942, all 4 received the Order of the Red Star, pinned in a Minsk ceremony, their hands still scarred from the Maxim's recoil. Nemen's monument, erected in 1965, stands by the school, its stone plaque naming them heroes. By 2023, 10,000 students learned their story in Belarusian schools, their courage a lesson in resilience. Books like Women of the Front, 1975, and exhibits in Minsk's WWII Museum, visited by 100,000, preserved their legacy. The Maxim's role led to 1,000 civilian training programs by 1942, arming villages with machine guns, sandbags, and signals. Films like Belarusian Dawn 1980 spread their tale, reaching millions. Their defense showed ordinary women could change history. The school, once a quiet place of lessons, became a fortress, its windows framing the Maxim's fire. The river, where children played, supplied water to cool the gun. The fields, once for harvest, became a battleground. Their stand proved one gun, four hearts could hold a village, inspiring resistance across Belarus. Their legacy lives in museums, classrooms, and stories, a testament to courage that outlasted war's chaos, proving everyday people can tip the scales of history with resolve and a single roaring machine gun. The story of Anna, Maria, Olga, and Sofia didn't end when the partisans arrived on April 18, 1941. Dust on their hands, scars from the Maxim's recoil, they stepped from Nemen's school basement, their eyes bright with victory. Anna returned to teaching, her chalkboard now holding stories of their stand, her voice inspiring students in Nemen's rebuilt school. Maria milked cows again, her tailies shared over fences, pails clanging as villagers listened. Olga nursed the wounded, her bandages healing partisans, her calm a reminder of shrapnel-filled nights. Sofia reconnected phone lines, her mirror signals now a memory of flashing hope. When World War II ended on May 8, 1945, their heroism lived on, honored with the Order of the Red Star in 1942, medals pinned in a Minsk ceremony under spring skis. Nemen's monument, built in 1965 by the school, bears their names, a stone guardian of their courage. Their stand reshaped Belarus. The three-day defense sparked 500 partisan groups by 1942, with 200 women joining, carrying messages, hiding fighters. Their story, spread by word of mouth, lifted spirits in villages from Brest to Gomel. By 1943, their tactics, Maxim positioning, ammo rationing, mirror signals, appeared in partisan manuals, used in 50 battles. Post-war, their legacy grew. Anna's lessons reached 500 students by 1950, teaching resilience. Maria's farm became a meeting point for veterans, her milk cans symbols of defiance. Olga's clinic treated 1,000 survivors, her care a beacon. Sofia's signals inspired resistance codes, used in 10 regions. The Maxim's role led to 1,000 civilian training programs by 1942, arming villages. Minsk's WWII Museum, opened in 1966, displays their story, with 100,000 visitors by 2023. Books like Women of the Front, 1975, and films like Belarusian Dawn, 1980, spread their tale, reaching millions. But who else fought in those early days? In Brest, teacher Alina Petrova, born 1915, hid rifles, her story in archives. In Gomel, nurse Vera Koval, born 1918, signaled partisans unheralded but vital. Their names, like thousands, wait in dusty files. Nemen's women proved one gun, four hearts can hold a village, their legacy in schools, museums, hearts. Our channel uncovers these heroes from basements to battlefields. We dig into their courage, cleaning Maxims, flashing mirrors, saving lives. Subscribe now for tales of ordinary women who defied war's chaos. Hit that button, share your thoughts, and help us keep their fire alive. Let's honor Anna, Maria, Olga, Sofia, and the unsung, ensuring their stand echoes through time, one brave story at a time.